listening to DORiS Radio.
You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP.
You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP.
A lot has changed over the last couple of years, and I've often wondered what it would be like to be in school at a time like this. Well, I recently caught up with some friends of mine, a dynamic couple who I knew could offer some insight. Today on DORiS, we sit down with JMor and Erica Matthews, both artists and educators. JMor is a recording artist and Erica is a visual artist, and they are both teachers. We had an awesome conversation about teaching during a pandemic, getting their masters, and finding time to stay creative.
And so this pandemic honestly gave you a chance to kind of step back and rethink teaching. Like, what does it mean to learn? What do these kids need to learn, and how can you better help them in their future?
It really was a blessing because it slowed things down and I was able to be a student of the game.
That's JMor and Erica Matthews. I'm Marco Garcia, and this is DORiS.
You're listening to DORiS Radio.
You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP.
You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP.
WHCP 101.
What's up, guys? You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP 101.5, and I'm excited to be joined today with Jonathan and Erica.
Hey, what's going on?
How we doing, guys?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome, man. We are here at the tail end of 2021.
Yes.
Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. Excited to get to catch up with you guys on the air. I can't wait to hear the music you'll be sharing with us and hearing about everything you guys got going on. And so I'm excited, man.
Yeah, this year went by so fast, didn't it?
It just flashed. I can't believe we're already in 2022.
Right.
It's like Christmas came and went. The whole holiday season, I feel like everything after September, we just hit fast forward.
Right.
For sure.
And but now we're gonna hit rewind, and we're gonna go back to the beginning. And I'd like to hear from you guys about some of the songs that your parents were playing around the house when you were growing up, and tell me about where you're from and all that.
So I'm from Pocomoke. Growing up, I had a lot of James Brown. Let's see. I can't remember her name. I don't know why it escapes me, but giving me the best that you. What's her name? Oh,
Anita?
my God.
Anita Baker.
Thank you.
Yes.
I could not think of her. A lot of gospel, and a lot of 90s R&B.
Okay.
Yeah, so for me, I would have to say a lot of gospel influence. I was kind of sheltered as a kid. The older that I became, my mom was like hearing some of the things I was listening to, and she was like, "You call that music?" So like that's when I started getting into like the Stevie Wonders, and her biggest group was Earth, Wind and Fire, Whitney Houston. So a lot of my influence started with gospel, and then I had an older brother who's 10 years older than me, so I would have to sneak to listen to like hip hop and R&B. So that's where I really got into like Jay-Z and Nas and Music Soul Child, and like that 2000s feel was like where I was listening to music with my brother. So yeah.
All right, man. What was it like growing up? You said Pocomoke and
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm from Salisbury.
Pocomoke and Salisbury. Tell me about that. What was it like growing up around the area?
Well, in Pocomoke, really, I stayed to myself. I had my certain group of friends, but because I stayed to myself, most of my influences were visual. So for me, my lifestyle and influence were more so like the old Toonami block.
Come on.
Right
That was the good stuff.
Right after I got home from school, I would do Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, Rurouni Kenshin.
Oh my God.
The whole nine, like Outlaw Star, And then, you do
You're
your
unlocking
homework, whatever.
memories right now.
I know. My brothers were gamers, so I would game with them. I would watch them. That's when we would play, listen to me. They'd give me the fake controllers, Smash Bros, whatever. Then we would play, there we go again. I would watch them play, Final Fantasy and everything and get those visuals. And then at night, we would watch I would watch Adult Swim and get more visuals. And, so for me, because I was by myself most of the time, I would start drawing because, I was getting all this, influence from this Japanese art, and so I would start drawing because that was my escape. I didn't have too much music influence, but art was what I had. So for me, growing up in Pocomoke was me and my sketch pad. And games.
I love that, yo. Just seeing that, thinking about the styling of that Toonami block. You know how cartoons today, I feel like they all have a similar look to them.
Yeah.
And I guess that happens with every generation.
Yeah.
But in that particular era, it was very heavily influenced by Japanese art, and all those things that you were just naming.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You were bringing so many cool images. Speaking of Final Fantasy, I think that's some of the coolest background imagery and art that you could have. And so think as that kid, the fact that we had that to grow up with is a real blessing.
And that the cutscenes are what really influence my style now. Yeah. So it's I think anime influences a lot. When you look at Meg the Stallion, oh my God, that's so. I wish she was back in my day. I wish somebody like that would come on scene. And when she did the whole My Hero Academia, oh my God,
she cosplays as it, and it's and she even incorporates it in some of those animated music videos.
I died.
It makes me excited about the youth today. The fact that that's what they're growing up with in their mainstream culture. And it's we'll get to see what the outcome of that is. And it's because I don't know, we didn't have anything like that growing up.
No, and if you did it, what you drawing? Them Pokemans?
It was fan art.
Remember?
Yeah.
You drawing them Pokemans again? No, but that was my experience. So yeah.
How about you, my man?
I would have to say that's what shaped me to who I am today, being an introverted extrovert. So I would have that experience of collaborating with others, whether it was in orchestra, because I played violin from 4th grade to 6th. Then I moved to the double bass, which was from 7th through 11th. I made a lot of connections as far as doing music with friends, because that was the only thing to do in Salisbury. So I was in a band when I was in high school called Robots and Action Figures.
Whoa, tell me about this. How'd that come about?
Just some of my friends wanting to bond over music, and we ended up doing fashion shows. So people my homeboy Mikey Foster was in that group. He's now a DJ DJ Iconic from the Salisbury area, and as you know, Marley was in that group. So yeah, man, a lot of fun times during that time, just collaborating and just having fun with the music. I feel now it's more business-esque that is in that essence of music now, but during that time it was just us having fun with it, and it still is fun, but it comes with the territory now. But definitely my influence with church really influenced my sound and made me the musician who I am today. And just Erica being at home all by myself, because my brother's 10 years older than me, it was you gotta make your own fun. So during that time I was really creating a lot as an artist, musically and as visually, so that's when I started drawing and things of that nature too around that time.
Tell me about now. You guys are both educators working in the audio arts and visual arts. Tell me about where you are finding your inspirations now as adults. Our lives are a lot different now than when we were little. What are the ways you guys are finding to, seek out creativity in your life?
So, for me, John and I, during the pandemic, we went ahead and we got our master's in education. We just finished.
Congratulations, guys. Hey, that's major, yo.
Thank you.
We still got a little bit of work to do, but we're almost there.
Almost. One more class. So, I took a break for a year, but recently I started getting into a VR. Thanks to John, I got a new Oculus, and there are so many beta projects as far as like creating your own worlds and games on different platforms. So that's something that I'm looking to get in, and that's something that I was working on like before the pandemic. It's so interesting and it's so time consuming, but like right now I want to see what that would look like as far as like art and 3D and photography. Like we'll see how that works. But yeah, just trying to find myself in my art and not look for that validation from other people and just going in head first. It sounds really easy, but it's difficult. Especially, I guess I have a people-pleasing tendency, so shaking that and just going in head first is what I'm trying to do now as far as my voice.
I love that turn of phrase, finding myself in my art. I think that's dope.
Yeah, because I found in the beginning when I would do what I want to do, I didn't get that much feedback from an audience. But when I would kind of follow the trends, that's when you would get the feedback. But that's not you.
Stop feeding yourself.
Yeah, and so you go into the cycle of you're kind of not feeding your soul. So it becomes numb and almost like robotic. I had to step back for a little bit and try and find, okay, what does Erica want? What does Erica like? And is this going to get the same response? It's probably not. And am I okay with that? So those are the questions that I've been asking myself.
Major.
That was a good answer. All right, so for me, I would have to say kind of the same thing, just maturing my sound. Because I think I found it now, but it's maturing it. And I feel like it's like wine. It gets better with time. So I would honestly say right now I'm just in a space where I'm kind of turning the radio off. And really kind of, like Erica said, finding myself and finding what I like to do. Because this is like now it's getting to the point now where as an artist, I'm not really making music to be, I guess, on that pedestal of where artists want to be on Billboard and things of that nature. I'm kind of more so, this is like my therapy, making my music and making it the way that I want to. And it's from a place now where being an educator where I don't necessarily need the validation or the money anymore because, you know, I have a income that's, you know, sufficing that. A lot of the stuff that I was doing before, like especially with engineering, I was taking things because out of necessity because I needed that money. But now I'm in a space where I can create with the people that I want to create with and working with those who are willing to work. So that's where I am now, man. And it's a good place to be at.
It really is.
Epic, man. Epic. What have been the major shifts in your life over the last 2 years to 18 months?
Well, I mean, dealing with Omarion now. I'm kidding.
It's just evolving.
Right, like, what? It actually, it was a blessing and a curse. Because the way we were going, it was kind of like we had just moved all the way to Glen Burnie. We're trying to balance like doing work and then balance like having this artistic lifestyle, and we were getting so burnt out in the classroom. At least I was. I mean, first year teaching is really no joke. And I mean, the kids that we're dealing with now, they're so emotionally intelligent and they're so aware of themselves because of social media in a way that we never were, that you're dealing with issues that you would have never thought you had to deal with, you know. And so this pandemic honestly gave you a chance to kind of step back and rethink teaching. Like, what does it mean to learn? What do these kids need to learn? And how can you better help them in their future? That's the way I looked at it. Like, teaching virtually was an amazing opportunity to prepare them what they'll have to do when they become adults. They won't be writing, they'll be typing. They won't be, you know, mailing a letter. They'll be typing an email and sending off a draft. They need to know how to write a draft in Word and everything. So I think the pandemic honestly was a great way as a teacher, you know, to kind of relook over, you know, what our students need to learn. Now, as an artist, it gave me a chance to rest and really like put it on the back burner. Like, what do I want? Like, what is the direction that I want to do? How do I want people to feel when they look at my art? How do I want to feel when I'm creating my art? and for more, I found out that I went away from photography for a while and went back to 2D art.
Okay.
So, I mean, it really put things into perspective of, like, what are you better at? Like, what are you most comfortable with? And what can you do in this time frame? I guess.
I would have to agree with that as well. Like, what can you do in this time frame? It really was a blessing because it slowed things down, and I was able to be a student of the game.
Listening to DORiS Radio.
You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP
You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP.
Listening to DORiS Radio.
DORiS
on
Radio on
WHCP.
WHCP 101.
I'm talking about y'all.
I'm talking about
And
kids right
that's
now.
your life, and I think that's really
Yeah. it is.
fascinating to see it happening in real time, because what we're living through are
Yeah, this is
historic-
historical.
Yeah.
I mean, kids are, I'm going to be honest, unless parents were on it, really, some kids are about 2 grades behind.
Yeah.
And I mean, now I work in special education.
Uh-huh.
So we're seeing, a lot of kids that do need that additional help, which isn't bad. We expect this, but it's a lot more work because I don't think the parents realize that we know that the kids, we know that they need additional help, but we need you guys to give them a little bit more help at home.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's a whole political conversation in itself. Like,
I was gonna say we could talk a whole hour.
yeah, we could.
About that.
We gotta have to do it, yo. We have to do it. I'm with it, man.
Yeah.
Let's, as we close out this segment, tell me about the first track we're going to be hearing today.
It was the track that we were listening to on the way here. What was the track called again, E?
Oh,
Wait, no, we were gonna listen to you.
Oh, we're gonna do one of my songs. I apologize. Oh, so the first song, and this is funny too. During the pandemic, me and my homeboy Mikey Foster, who goes by Moses Rakim, we did a song together called. Well, we did a whole project during the pandemic because things are slowed down. He's also a chef in Baltimore, so. Things slowed down for him as well. We did a song called Water, and the group is called El Claro, and it's also narrated by the homie Ken Gosley.
shout out, kid.
Shout out to Ken. Shout out to Moses. Yeah.
Sweet, man. Let's go into it, y'all. We'll be right back with more of Jonathan and Erica on
Hey.
DORiS Radio on WHCP 101.5. Keep it locked.
You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP
You're listening to DORiS
101.5.
Radio on WHCP.
Listening to DORiS Radio.
DORiS
on
Radio on
WHCP.
WHCP 101.